All right, let's just dive right in. We're going to talk about something that might be holding you back without you even realizing it. These tiny, invisible habits that are quietly sabotaging your career.
You ever have that feeling at work? You look around, and some people just seem to be on a rocket ship, climbing the ladder way faster. And you're sitting there thinking, wait a minute, I'm smarter, I work harder, I know my stuff. It's maddening, right? Well, it turns out there's a real reason for that feeling, and it's probably not what you think. Okay, so here's the tough pill to swallow. It's not just about how hard you work. It's about how you're perceived. And that perception, it's being shaped every single day by these tiny, unconscious habits that you probably don't even know you're doing.
So, first things first, let's talk about your words. Because there are these sneaky little language saboteurs we all use that can just suck the life out of our best ideas.
Okay, first up is what we call the apology prefix. You know exactly what this is. It's when you start a sentence with something like, sorry, just a quick thought. Or the classic, this is probably a stupid idea, but. It's like you're waving a little white flag before you've even said a word, telling everyone, hey, don't take this too seriously. Now look at this comparison. I mean, just feel the difference here. Going from, sorry, just a quick thought, to, here's my thought. Boom, it's night and day. Or changing, I think we should, to I believe we should. See that? One is kind of passive, the other one, that's leadership. And you might be wondering, why do I even do this? Well, it's actually pretty fascinating. It's usually a survival skill you learned somewhere else, maybe at home to avoid conflict, or early in your career to seem humble and not step on any toes. The thing is, the very habit that kept you safe back then, it's what's putting you in a box right now. All right, so if the apology prefix is the saboteur at the beginning of your sentence, the conviction killer is the assassin that gets you at the end. It's that little phrase you throw in that basically undermines everything you just said.
Yeah, like this. You say something really strong, like, consistency is the key to success. And then you kill it. I think. I don't know. Could be wrong. You just took this powerful idea and completely deflated it, like a balloon. You're basically telling people, hey, please don't disagree with me.
So what do? The fix is so simple, but man, it takes guts. Just say your point, and then stop. Period. That silence that follows, it feels awkward. I know. But it's not. That's the sound of your idea landing. That's the sound of authority. Okay, so we've covered the words, but that's only half the battle. Now we gotta talk about your voice itself, because how you say something matters just as much. And a really common one you hear all the time is called vocal fry. You know that sound? It's that kind of low, creaky, gravelly tone that often happens at the very end of a sentence. It's what happens when you're running out of steam. So why do we do it? Well, sometimes it's actually on purpose to kind of soften what we're saying so we don't sound too harsh. But look at this. Almost half the time, the reason is just technical. It's poor breath support. Simple as that. You're trying to speak when your lungs are empty. But the good news is, there's a really easy fix for this, and it's a total game changer. Just think of your breath like gas in a car. You wouldn't wait until the needle's on E to refuel, right? So try this exercise. Take a really deep breath and then count out loud for as long as you can. But the trick is, before you completely run out of air, take another deep breath. Refuel early. It gives your voice so much more power. All right, let's get to what might be the biggest career killer of them all, especially for people who are actually really smart and good at their jobs. And that's the silence trap. Think about it. When you're the quiet one in a meeting, you know what's going on inside your own head, right? You're not zoning out. You're listening, you're processing information, you're seeing connections that nobody else is. Inside your brain, you are on fire. But here's the problem. Your boss can't read your mind. They can only see what you do. And when they see silence, this is what they think. They don't see a genius processing. They see someone who's disengaged, unprepared, or worse, just doesn't have an opinion. That gap between what you think you're projecting and what they see, that is absolutely brutal for your career. Okay, so how do you get into the conversation without feeling like you're being a jerk? You learn the art of the respectful interruption. It's a skill. First, you look for a tiny pause, just a breath between someone's points. Lean in a little. That's your physical cue. Then you build a bridge. You say something like, that's a great point about the budget, and it actually connects to. See? You're not shutting them down, you're building on what they said. And this leads us to the last big one. This is the myth that traps so many talented people. It's this belief we all have deep down,
that if we just do great work, the work will speak for itself. Look, I need you to remember this. Let your work speak for itself, but learn to speak for your work, too. Those are two different skills, and you absolutely need both of them. Here's why. Your boss is drowning in their own stuff. They only see the tip of the iceberg, your final report, your finished project. What they don't see is everything underneath the water. All the hard decisions, the problems you had to solve, the dumpster fires you put out just to get that result. And let's be clear, this isn't about bragging. That's not what this is. This is about providing context. You're not being arrogant, you're being a good communicator. You're just giving them the backstory so they understand the real value of what you did. All right, and before we wrap up, here are a few more to keep an eye on, rapid-fire style. Nodding too much can look desperate. Speaking way too fast screams nervous. And always saying, "Oh, I don't mind," or "whatever's fine," eventually people just think you don't have any ideas of your own. So I'll just leave you with this thought. You know your work is valuable. You know your ideas are good. You know you contribute. So the real question is, are you giving all of that value the powerful voice it actually deserves?